Sailors, welcome you all to the Marine Instinct YouTube channel sharing maritime knowledge. So guys, in this episode, we are seeing the Maritime Talks #7, means the episode where we talk about the happenings of all around the world in maritime sectors, and this is the 7th episode of our series of Maritime Talks. So guys, let's get started. The first news we have in the list is the cocaine in Maersk container ship with two men found. It's a breaking news, guys. In a brief statement by Maersk's senior press officer, it has been confirmed that the authorities at Mezzalino terminal are conducting an investigation after allegedly two stevedores were found hidden alongside narcotics in one container. This action has come as a result of the incident on the Maersk Line container ship Sevendorf Maersk, where more than $1 million worth of cocaine was seized along with two hidden individuals in the ships. The inspections carried out by Mexican authorities after receiving an anonymous tip-off was held in a cooperation with the Attorney General's office with Manzanillo Customs. They caught red-handed two stevedores locked in a container and two suspicious packages wrapped in black and red plastic. Not appearing to be a part of the regular content of the cargo, the contents of the package were later tested positive for cocaine. So guys, moving further, if you are not following Marine Singh on Instagram, you are missing a major chunk of maritime news and podcasts. Guys, follow us on Instagram and you will get updated about many things in our Instagram channel. So guys, moving further, the second news we have is the US Navy carriers conduct South China Sea drills as China ships watches. Yes guys, I think you are already aware of the what is happening. And guys, two US Navy aircraft carriers are conducting exercises in the contested South China Sea within sight of Chinese naval vessels spotted near the flotilla. The commander of one of the carriers, the USS Nimitz, told Reuters on Monday, "They have seen us and we have seen them," Rear Admiral James Kirk said in a telephone interview from the Nimitz, which has been conducting flight drills in the waterway with the 7th Fleet carrier. The USS Ronald Reagan began on the US Independence Day holiday of July 4th. The US Navy has brought carriers together for such shows of force in the region in the past, but this year's drill comes amid heightened tensions as the United States criticizes China over its novel coronavirus response and accuses it of taking advantage of the pandemic to push territorial claims in the South China Sea and elsewhere. So guys, moving further, the next news we have is the key countries agree to help bring home seafarers stuck on ship. It's a very good news, guys. More than a dozen countries with crucial global shipping hubs agreed to ease port and border restriction for seafarers to help the more than 2 lakh workers still stranded on vessels return home. Nations including the US, Singapore, Greece and the United Arab Emirates said they would ease coronavirus related restrictions for seafarers and boost commercial flights to help facilitate crew swaps. The pact comes after months of pressure on governments, ports and shippers to find ways to get workers off vessels after a rash of suicides and an uptick in expired contracts. Seafarers will now get international recognition as key workers to enable freer movement and quicker repatriation following a virtual international maritime summit hosted by the UK Thursday. Some crews have spent more than a year at sea exceeding limits under maritime agreements as border restrictions to halt the spread of COVID-19 and cancel flights limited travel. Guys, moving further, the next news we have is the tanker knocked out by rapid test Algeciras. So guys, 7 out of 9 crew of chemical tanker Samus Swan were found COVID-19 rapid test positive at Algeciras tanker and crew isolated. Crew remaining on board as all seamen are reported to be in good physical condition. They are expecting results of PCR test. The ship in load arrived at Algeciras on July 6 from Nigeria. Initially she was bound for Gibraltar but had to stop at Algeciras for virus test. So guys, moving further, the next news we have is the Panama Canal increases maximum draught for neo-panamax locks. The Panama Canal Authority has announced an increase of maximum authorized draught for neo-panamax vessels transiting the Panama Canal to 14.33 meter, that is approx 47 feet tropical fresh water starting 8 July. Vessels arriving with draft over 14.33 meter TFW may be allowed to transit, depending on the actual level of Gatun Lake at the time of transit. Otherwise, they will be required to trim or offload cargo in order to be allowed to transit. So guys, moving further, the Moody's global shipping outlook remains negative. So guys, the outlook for the global shipping sector for the coming 12 to 18 months remains negative, according to Moody's new report. The key drivers of the negative outlook are a combination of expectation that the global economy will shrink in 2020 due to the impact of the pandemic, and the road to recovery will be long and bumpy. The outlook for the sector has been negative since March 2020. Moody's expects the global economy to contract by around 11.9% this year due to coronavirus induced drop in consumer demand and investments, as well as supply chain disruptions due to the lockdowns. Continued restriction on the movement of people as well as some goods also bode ill for the global shipping industry's prospects. So guys, moving further, the last news we have is the Carnival Corporation to begin cruise in phases. So the Carnival Corporation said on Friday it was planning to resume operation in a phased manner and would operate with a small fleet on its return months after suspending trips due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The company's shares that have lost more than two-thirds of their value this year rose as much as 11% to $16.12 in morning trading. The world's largest cruise operator said it has reduced capital expenditures by more than $5 billion over the next 18 months and raised a couple of more billions to navigate through the virus outbreak. The cruise business has been one of the worst hit after several ships, including some owned by Carnival's Princess Cruises, became coronavirus hotspots. To survive through the pandemic, cruise operators have raised billions through various means, even pledging ships and private islands. Carnival alone raised over $10 billion through a series of financing transactions since voyages were paused, enough to withstand another full year in a zero revenue scenario, Chief Executive Officer Arnold Donald said on a conference call. So guys, that's for it for today. Tune into our Marine Sing YouTube channel and also Instagram. And guys, thank you for watching. Signing off. Hit the subscribe button and bell button so that you don't miss any video from Marine Sing. Thank you guys. Signing off.